We
Come on in. Water's warm. You know what
well,
I you know what I used to do? Remember iTunes? It's like what happened to them?
They're still
Um,
kicking. Are they?
oh, beautiful. Well, I guess we're letting everybody into the Zoom room. Quickly, I'll introduce. Welcome to Powerhouse Arena's virtual events. I'm Chris, the events coordinator. Tonight, we're very proud to be hosting the launch of God, I Feel Modern Tonight by Katherine Cohen.
Oh my God.
I'm sharing a link to buy a signed copy of the book in the chat right now. Any book that is bought through Powerhouse will come with a signed bookplate. Katherine will be in conversation with Chris Murphy. If you have any questions, you can use the chat or Q&A function at the bottom of your screen, and they'll take your questions at the end. And I'll introduce our readers tonight. Chris Murphy is a writer, comedian, and actor in NYC. He's a staff writer at Vulture, New York Magazine, and has performed stand-up all over NYC at venues like the Bell House, Club Cumming, and Union Hall. Sure. Most recently, he hosted Ars Nova's monthly virtual variety show, Showgasm, and has performed at the Atlantic Theater Company, Edinburgh Fringe, Williamstown Theater Festival, and was once cut out of an episode of Law & Order SVU.
Absolutely true.
Katherine Cohen is native of Houston, Texas, and is a comedy sensation who has a residency at Joe's Pub and hosts a weekly show at Club Cumming in New York City. She also co-hosts the popular podcast Seek Treatment. She has been featured in the New York Times, Vogue, and Village Voice. It was named Best Newcomer at Edinburgh Fringe.
Chris, I'm warning you. You're embarrassing me.
And her many film and TV credits include The Lovebirds and season 3 of High Maintenance on HBO. And take it away.
Oh my God. Thank you, Chris. Wait, first of all, how mortifying that we weren't in front or like that I should have been like this. And then I say, hey!
And you pop out. That does make a lot of action.
Oh my God. Okay, first of all, can I say, I know like technically you're supposed to be asking me questions, but first of all, can I say hi, how are you? And secondly, I need y'all, all gorgeous attendees, to sound off in the chat because I want this to be like a community. Because when I first found out, when God herself came down from heaven above and told me I was going to write a book, I thought I need to stand at a mahogany podium at a bookstore. And we're not going to be able to be doing that tonight. We're going to actually be sitting even, and looking at a computer. So because there's no mahogany podium, I'm going to need some extra comments in the chat.
We need the reinforcement, positive, negative, whatever you feel. We want to hear about it. We want to hear about it in the chat. We actually need that sort of energy.
And you know what else I just like have to be clear about something for all the panelists.
Please,
like,
let's be clear.
The elephant in the room is that I'm not in my space. I have a boyfriend, Bragg, and I was stuck at his place because of a snowstorm. And that's why I don't have my Say It With Me ring light. It's why I don't have like gorgeous golden panels behind me. And that's why I'm just literally being a guy's girl right now. I have this kind of like poster of where I am.
That was my first question. Let's talk about the Five Boroughs poster. Craft beer. It doesn't really seem to be your vibe, but again, who knows? The pandemic has changed us all. So
you can really love someone and they can have a Five Boroughs poster.
They can. And we don't talk about that enough. We don't talk about it enough.
I know. Chris, how are you?
I'm good. I'm loving the snow. I'm loving a wintry wonderland. I'm at home in New Jersey, Black History Month, as you can see, at home with my family.
Absolutely.
Michelle Obama is here with us.
I know she wanted to come to the event, so that's good.
She actually, I'm subbing for her. She was going to do it.
Right.
You know, but she's here in spirit. Michelle is family. But yeah, I'm home. I'm, sort of contending with the fact that everything that I was looking forward to this year is quickly just sort of falling to the wayside. It's sort of 2021, 2020 plus one. It's all the same. How are you sort of dealing with that? Starting with your book event, like it's so like.
I know. Did you ever think we'd be professionally in conversation?
That there would be people literally all over the continental USA, I assume, watching.
Okay, not to be so dramatic, but my agent's calling me right now. I'm like, it better be freaking good news.
You just booked. You should pick it up. You booked. Yeah, I feel like you booked something.
Okay, everyone, please, everyone in the chat send good energy. This is like a call with like good news. How am I coping with
Yeah,
this?
how are you coping?
I'm not. I'm doing a lot of binge eating. I'm having actually my boyfriend. You guys are never going to believe this, but we kind of thought this morning. We kind of thought maybe tonight will be the kind of cocktail where you have like Bailey's in it. So I'm actually having an oat milk, and
Okay.
it's an oat milk based cocktail. So what we have here, my lover just brought me. It's a little whiskey, a little Bailey's, some oat milk, and ice.
Now,
So
what
do
are
we
the
like that, or is that gross? It tastes good.
what are the roots of that? What are like? Does it taste gross? It sounds like it tastes gross to me. Sound off in the comments if that tastes gross to you.
Yeah. Tell in the comments if you think having oat milk in your cocktail is okay.
We're getting
a lot of negative energy from the space.
That sounds gross. So we got a Katy Birnbaum sounds gross. But oat milk is hip. That is fair. I'm actually drinking an iced coffee because I famously woke up today at 2 p.m. because nothing matters.
Why? So your body clock was set that way.
Naturally said, we're not getting out of bed until
oh my God, they're calling again. I'm like, what is it?
Okay, you actually put like
I can't answer it on my book event because if it's not like the best news ever, I'll absolutely pass out on film. It's like
it's JFL. It's JFL calling.
It's almost as if I shouldn't have my phone directly in my hand during my world famous book event. I'm flipping the phone over and I'm being present.
The launch of this is actually your first. Wait, we have to say this is that your book isn't even out yet. When is your book comes out tomorrow officially?
How cute is she?
And let's pull it up. This is hard copy. This could be yours, signed.
I'll never forget when I opened the box and I went, yeah, that's a book.
If you can.
It goes. But
like gold on my teeth. I'm like,
it's perfect. Real. Yeah, everything is surreal right now. I think it is as my amazing editor, who is the woman that we should all want to be, Deb Garrison, texted me and she said, you know what? We're lucky that it's virtual because if the snowstorm, it would have been canceled.
Oh my God, that's actually so true.
This is literally God herself smiling down at us saying, the show must go on.
Oh, wait, that's actually such a good point that it is the snowstorm would have absolutely canceled it. And that would have been worse. This is so good. I really do feel like we have a little community here and a lot of like.
No, I actually feel so connected to all the attendees as they're professionally referred to. Absolutely. So what are you thinking? I was thinking maybe I'd read a few.
Well, I was about to say, I would love to hear a few of your poems read in your signature voice. And then I've got like 1,000,007 questions. But then also I want the chat. Again, we got a Q&A button and we have the chat. Please send us your questions, your comments, not concerns. We don't care about them, but questions and comments for sure. And and then we'll get the show on the road. But take it away and read us some amazing selections from God, I Feel Modern tonight.
I'm going to DJ my performance because I'm a woman in tech. I'm using my phone as.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna mute myself and I'm even gonna take myself off camera so that
all right.
No, okay. I'll mute and then I'm gonna give you the floor for just a little bit.
So cold. It's snowing outside. This poster is ruining my entire aesthetic. Okay, I'm shy. I can't believe this is real. Okay. Can everyone hear the music? Gosh, so cold. Poem I wrote after I found out that alcohol is actually just sugar. I live in America and there's only one good show on TV. I wake up early to watch the sunrise. Anything can be political if you tweet about it. I can't imagine having children. I haven't even had sex with a doctor. Sometimes I sigh so loud in public that a stranger on the street will ask if I'm okay. I'm okay. My work isn't good, but it's online, and that's what counts. Thank you. Now, guess in the comments what show I was talking about when I said there's only one good show on TV, and there's only one right answer. Next, it's called. Next, it is called. This is a tough one because people are saying, okay, the answer is Succession, but Veep is a close.
That's second. Good. I was gonna say Veep, but also Love Island UK. Okay, I'm going away again. Keep reading.
Goodbye. This next poem is called Poem I Wrote After I Went to Tuscany to Journal About My Toxic Guitar Teacher. I wonder if he's gonna read this book. Probably not. We unfollowed each other. Okay. Going swimming is an amazing way to stop being on your phone. I woke up early as a cry for help, but there's no oranges in the sunrise. I was promised oranges. I was promised the Upper West Side. I woke up so early and the lonely polo horses won't even come say hi. I can't believe I had sex in these woods. Sex, the biggest, baddest thing you can do, baby. Sex with its slime and guts and romance if you're drunk. It's nothing like swimming. You know when it's done. Thank you. And here's a hit classic. This is a hit classic. Poem I wrote after I sent 3 guys the same nude. Oops. Oops. My dad is Jewish and my mom is Catholic, so I was confirmed Catholic. But now the only holy trinity in my life is yeast infection, diarrhea, period blood. Do you like this? Bling Empire is really good. I saw that. Sound off in the comments if you like that. Maybe I'll do a few more. I don't know. I've never been to a book event. I've never read a book. I don't know how many I'm supposed to read, but I'm gonna. My hair
couple
is.
more. We're vibing.
A few
here.
more.
Yeah, a few more.
A couple more. We're just getting started. We're just getting started. When some days you're just like, if my hair looked better, everything would be different. I mean, it's very Fleabag. You know what I mean?
I feel that.
Like I'm in a place where it's like, if my hair looked better right now, it'll be over for you gals.
The headband really is coming through for me in a big way. I will say that's.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. I am wearing Juicy Couture-esque sweatpants underneath this.
I'm also wearing sweatpants. Wow, what a the story goes on. It's incredible.
What are the odds? All right, let's see. Oh, this is a fan favorite. I say that because I like it and I'm a fan of myself, which is so important. I need years of therapy to become a fan of myself, so I highly recommend that. Oh, this is great because this title was inspired by Chris himself years ago when we were having dinner. Poem I wrote after you ordered fried shrimp at the diner, and I was like, gross. But really, I was like, dang, that sounds good. I was like, what are you getting? And then I looked and I was like, that looks really good. Back to the poem. I'm always horny and looking for somewhere to charge my phone. The Paris Review came in the mail today and I performed reading it. I can't write if no one's watching. I can't stop checking my pussy for weird bumps. One time I went to the doctor and when she told me I gained 15 pounds, I was like, that's a lot. And she was just like, yeah. Thank you.
I think that's the only poem that mentions shrimp and the Paris Review in the world. I do think that's a fact. So
I think maybe I'll read one of the longer ones and then one more, and then we can kind of drop.
Yeah, maybe even a road trip one. I love the road trip ones.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but again, it's your book event, so you do what you want to do.
Wow, that's beautiful. Okay. And this title is inspired by the actually the person I'm now dating. He's in a different room, so I'm like, do you want to be in the book event with me? But he's actually with his roommates. Okay. This is inspired by him. Every relationship has their bumps. Life is one long rocky road. Poem I wrote after you helped me assemble my new couch and then broke up with me on it. Shout out. The body is elastic, and I don't think it's embarrassing that you bought a hat. The body is elastic, and I like to run when that Brian Eno song plays. If it's cold out and I see the shape of your name on my phone. The body is elastic and love is boring, but sex is more of it. And your friend just got one of those dogs that can't breathe, but they keep making them, even though it's like a genetic thing, question mark. Anyways, the point is I still love you because I don't know what you're thinking. And because we refuse to talk about it, I remain in a good mood because the performance hasn't ended. And I'm an incredible actress because I think so and feel so much all the time. And when I tire of this, there will be more of it. You're not the first to give me a book they haven't read. Thank you. And then one more road trip for my guy, Chris. Let's see. Time, does it fly or is it slow? Answer it in the comments. What you think? Everyone write in the comments what you think about the idea of time right now. Sorry the room is so dark. I actually have a lamp directed at my face, but it's no ring light. Okay. Let's see. This might be my fave. Yes. Time, I agree. Time isn't real. Time is the ultimate randomista. I feel you. This is called Road Trip Poem number 17. I'm jealous of everyone and wouldn't change a thing. Every time we have sex, I tell you it's one for the record books. And you say something can't be special if everything is. Boys love drumming on stuff. Boys love taking their shirt off with one hand. Oh my God, experience whatever pleasure you can in this life. For example, I'm at McDonald's right now. Thank you. And
Wow.
lastly, isn't McDonald's just divine?
There's nothing better, actually.
Everyone in the comments share your favorite fast food. Mine is a tie between Taco Bell and McDonald's.
I kind of
I don't
want
know if I don't know if Shake Shack counts.
Shake
No
Shack
offense.
is high end. No, that's like fast casual. That's not fast
Right,
food. That's different.
right.
I have to
And
be
also,
real.
and like honestly, Chick-fil-A is really good.
Chick-fil-A is so good, but they hate gay people. But
I know.
we could have gone past
And
that.
in that way, I'm the exact opposite of Chick-fil-A.
Absolutely. An ally.
I don't know how to, I'm scared of making chicken. I don't cook it well, but I love gay people.
Nobody does. Nobody does except Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, someone asked about Arby's, and Arby's is one that I'm really not familiar with. Are you familiar with Arby's, Chris?
I used to go to the one near 42nd Street before an off-Broadway show every, all the time. And the meat is good, but sort of the sides are a mess.
Interesting. It's like so it's a roast beef centric establishment.
Yes, it's very much about the beef, about it's where's the beef? It's very and good. The curly fries are okay. It's as
You know what I adore? Au jus. Au jus.
Ajou?
I
Ajou?
like with a French dip. It's like
Ooh,
like
Ajou. Okay, that's like a famous
Au jus.
AUJUS. Ajou.
I know. Whoever asked, is this a white Russian? You're late to the party. It's actually an oat milk inspired cocktail that my lover just handed me.
And we've decided that it's not gross, even if it sounds gross.
I know. I mean, I don't know what I feel about it. I don't. It's honestly, I was having a day today where I was like, am I cold or hot? Am I hungry or full? Am I sleepy or awake?
Cold, hungry, asleep. I think those are the three answers.
Cold, hungry, and asleep. Those are my favorite things to be.
Yeah, cold, hungry, and asleep. That was me. That was
I'm not hungry.
Cold, hungry, and asleep. I'm absolutely famished right now.
Really? Are you? What are you gonna have for dinner?
Holy, okay. This is why it's like I'm glad I came home. My mom is like roasting a lamb. Like there's like
a
lamb,
a leg of lamb,
a leg
rack
of lamb is soaking right now to be roasted. And that I'm just not a rack of lamb even. And you're not going to get that from Blue Apron back in my apartment. It's not going to happen.
You're the luckiest boy in America.
I know, honestly. And
I'm
you're
gonna one more road trip and then we can dive in.
Please, because I have questions.
Okay. Road trip poem number 12. Sarah says her art friends in Philly aren't happy and they aren't even close. I wonder if I should get a dishwasher. Yesterday we drove through South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin. We pulled over right where James Wright saw those lonely horses, and I tell you, I've been thinking about his hammock poem where he says he wasted his life because we saw the sun reflecting off that buffalo dung in Yellowstone, which was overrated then amazing. How deep does the ground go, by the way? That night we had sex under the stars, and I peed in the wrong place after. Do you think they'll know it was me? I do my best work when I'm hungover and mortified. No one ever got any good ideas from feeling perfect.
Please give it up for Katherine Cohen. Absolute, honestly, voice of a generation. Okay, I'm, God, obsessed with your poetry. Obsessed with you.
Thank you.
I gotta say, I really want to take it back. Literally, the chat is going wild.
I know the chat is so cute. I love y'all in the chat.
Big standing ovation vibes from the chat right now. Like if we were in person and you were at a podium, everyone would be like,
I feel it. I feel the love. I feel the love from the chat.
Okay, but I want to start actually, as Hillary Duff said, let's go back to the beginning. I want to.
When the earth, the sun, the stars.
Yeah,
that album was so good.
That was actually a good song, and one that would. There should be like a cool acoustic cover of that song if there isn't yet. Like I don't know why we.
Give me 5. Wait, you know what's interesting about that album? That was the album that taught me what self-titled meant, because it's just like when the album is the name of the artist.
The name. That is like
I got self-titled debut and I was like, oh.
Not to absolutely drag your child ass, but like self-titled is pretty clear. Like
Should I have had a self-titled book, Katherine Cohen and by Katherine Cohen?
Self-titled. But no, I mean that would have been a good alternate, but I think God, I Feel Modern Tonight is perfect. And wait, I do want to go back to your childhood. So like, were you a little poetry girl, like running around, writing your thoughts down, journaling,
Yeah, I
or
was very like crying in the bathroom. I very much like was I think I remember just like when we learned about like the romantics in English class being like,
Mm.
oh, yes, that's what I feel, that pain. There was a deep pain brewing
Ah,
because I felt like I didn't like how I looked and I didn't like, not having boys love me.
yes, that makes a lot of sense. And you found poetry like as an outlet, like it was something that you were interested in
Yeah, I mean,
as a child.
unrequited love like invented poetry, and that's
Mm,
unrequited love is like my obsession. So,
true. It is that actually that is a theme of your work. Your work
yeah,
has themes. Would you actually
thank
like,
you.
do you feel like
Would
could
you
you
say it has motifs,
motifs, even motifs, themes and motifs?
similes, metaphors, like and as fuck?
Spark Notes is going wild right now, themes
Oh
and
my God,
motifs.
please don't make a spark notes of my book.
Oh my God, someone's probably gonna, if they teach it at school, there will be a Spark Notes of your book.
The spark notes would be longer than the book itself.
That is actually, but that's sort of the beauty of the book because you say everything in such a
That's
concise,
right. Thank you.
gorgeous way. When did you know, or when did you think, when did you know you wanted to write a collection of poetry? Did you ever know that you wanted to write a collection of poetry?
Wow. I started posting my little poems to Instagram in like 2015, 2016, and once I had a few of those, I should have one of those like Urban Outfitters like jokey books. But then I was like, wait, pause. You're an amazing artist. You should have a full blown a book for adults.
A
And
real a book, a real
that's
book,
where we are now.
not a
But it's
joke.
always been a dream of mine. It just felt like kismet
Kismet. It's
meant to be.
absolutely okay. So in terms of like your, okay, so you start writing these like these poems, you write them based off your real life experiences going to diners with your close dear friends who order shrimp. You write them about your subway travels, the men that you've loved and lost.
Ah,
What is your process sort of in terms of writing? Is it just like boom boom into your notes app on your phone, or do you take a second to let it marinate?
I remember in 2016, I think I challenged myself to like write a little one every day. That was when the ones I was writing were still like, I would say no more than 4 lines. And that I was like, what's going on with me today? What does that remind me of? And I just like, and even now it's all very stream of consciousness. Sometimes I edit things, but very rarely.
Okay, so it's perfect right out the jump is what we're saying. I love
I am perfect and without flaw is kind of what I'm expressing.
that.
Um, Sometimes I'll take more time on them. I have to say, I want to shout out to one of the attendees, my dear friend Amy Solomon, who we both know, because
Yes, author.
Amy, I guess, yeah, she's an author. She's about to have a collection of women's humor writing called Notes from the Bathroom Line come out in March.
You gotta get
But
it.
before that, she, I guess, like a few years ago, was like, let's start a poetry email thread where like just a bunch of friends were like could have a place to share work that was like maybe just felt like we didn't have a place for it in our lives. Like I felt like I was writing some more serious stuff on my own, but I didn't feel like I could post it to Instagram or I didn't know where to share it or what to do with it. But it felt good to put it out there and like to have conversations about it. So when I was on that listserv, I feel like that gave me permission to like experiment more and go beyond like a 4 line jokey thing.
Absolutely.
So I
It's
was grateful for that group.
oh, that's so amazing. Okay, we got a really good question. We got a bunch of questions in the Q&A box, just putting that out there. But the first one,
I haven't seen.
I'm going to take Tyler Cree's question about your process. Tyler Cree, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but it's actually not my fault. I don't know it. How how do you know when a poem is completed? How do you know when it's done?
When I know when it's done when I'm like, oh,
Okay.
like when I read the last time, it's like, like
Mm.
it's a body high. It's like, and that's a line. Like it's like if the last line is like, oh, it's all about the last line. And the last line when if it goes like this, oh, like you're pulling, but it's like you're opening up. It's like you're like on.
It's
If
whoop,
the
it's a
last line
whoop.
makes you feel, oh, that's how
But
I
if it,
know.
but it makes you go, ooh, then you're not done yet.
No, if something makes me go, ah.
Then we're not
Then
finished.
I'm like, that's not funny enough. That's not even interesting, and that's not exciting to me. But it's all
Mhm.
visceral. It's all body,
It's all,
and I can write that out in the chat if you want. It's oh,
ooh,
it's hard
ooh.
to dictate that.
No, that
For me,
makes
it's
sense to me.
all about that. Yeah, it's all in the rhythm about it. It's all just like it's in my body. I remember I had a poetry teacher in college. I took a poetry class my senior year, which was really informative, and he was like he complimented like the rhythm on something, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know I was doing that, but it's very, I just like was feeling it.
Mhm.
I am, as everyone knows, a dancer, model, choreographer first.
Absolutely, model first, then dancer choreographer, of course. We've said that before. Wait, that's so good because I wanted to ask a question about, famously we did go to college together, did
Right.
sing a cappella. I do sort of in my mind's eye see you sort of like trouncing around in a large
Oh my
coat,
God.
headphones on, holding a book of poetry, like running past people on the way to class.
Oh
Did you
my
have
God.
I know those were the
I'm
days.
nostalgic for the idea of class.
The idea of having anywhere to go or be at any point in time.
Oh, it was so dramatic. Being in college is the most dramatic thing you can be.
There's nothing more intense that matters less.
So intense. I feel like you're so horny and sad and trying to like decide who you are.
Exactly. And the thing is, like, you won't even know for another 5 or 10 years at
I
earliest.
still don't know. I know. Oh my God. Someone texted me today. They said, how old are you? I said, how old am I? And the answer is 29. And when you Google me, not that I've ever done that,
But
but
we
it
do.
says I'm 30. And I'm like, okay, the internet's gaslighting me.
Okay, let's absolutely not. The internet's actually got to apologize. The internet needs to issue a public
Roll back.
an apology.
It's so
Okay, we're
hot.
getting
Men
another.
laughing in the next room.
Oh my God, is he like going off? Is he drinking a 5 borough beer? Like he must
I
be.
don't know what the boy, yeah.
If
I
he's
don't know
not,
what the
I'm
boys are up
pissed.
to. I think they're actually making dinner, which is cute.
Oh, that's actually really sweet. I hope it's a rack of lamb. Okay, but we're getting a really good. There's a good question in
Oh,
the chat. Was college formative, or was it more Houston, Texas, that formed you as an artist? Ooh,
wow.
artiste.
Uh, college was extremely formative because I literally didn't know like what poetry was. I didn't know anything about anything, but it all comes back to Houston, Texas, because that's where I developed my intense yearning and my deep wound and need to be liked and adored and connected with. And so I think it all starts there. And then in college, it was where I think my college roommate, who we know, Rebecca Wellborn,
Forward.
she
Yeah.
came into my life like a sign from God above, and she like knew all this cool stuff that I was connecting with. None of my friends in high school liked art or music. I say that with all the love in my heart. But I finally felt like when I met Rebecca in college, I was like, oh my God, these people who know about like cool artists. And Rebecca showed me this poet, Joe Bolton, who I'm totally obsessed with, who I wrote a bit of my thesis on. And that really opened my eyes when it comes to poetry because he spoke so plainly in a way that was so like clear and cutting. And I'd never read anything like that before.
Okay, wait, that's a huge shout out to Rebecca Wellborn. Such a great mind. That brings me to another question, which you said Joe Bolton, which is fantastic. I also famously was an English major with you because of you, because you were like, you should do that. And I was like, sure. Never took a poetry class. I don't know anything about poetry. I'm actually like, I'm poet illiterate, famously. Can you talk a little bit about your like influences or like your poetry influences, but also just your artistic influences, that if you have any off the top of your head that sort of, you just said Joe Bolton, that you're like, oh wow, this person or this person's work has shaped mine in some way, whether small or big.
Yeah. I think growing up, it was very like musical theater. It was the Spice Girls. It was Britney. It was pop. And then I'll never, and this is a very formative influence for me. When I started watching the program, The OC, they would feature the coolest bands every week. And that's when I got into like indie music, when I became obsessed with like writing lyrics in my AIM bio. And I feel like that like literally was when I became like a interesting person. I would be like,
God.
I would like look up like Death Cab for Cutie and the Magnetic Fields and like Bright Eyes. And that like opened my world like to being like to something creative that felt more immediate and like intense than something I would have read in English class or whatever. And then my AIM handle, I know I had lots. I remember one time it was cool to be like, it was cool to be really understated. So it was just like Cohen 891.
Stop.
But
No.
it started as like, CCC Sports, and it was briefly, you're going to die, CCC Abercrombie.
No, not.
The clothes didn't even fit me. And I was like,
oh my God, CCC Abercrombie. That I wasn't expecting. I knew you were a little sports girl, Christian camp, Arkansas, famous,
God.
good at basketball, which we don't say enough.
I love basketball. Wait, I really felt like you were about to start singing Wagon Wheel or something. You're like, Christian Summer Camp, Arkansas. Oh, rock me, mama, like a wagon.
We rock me. That's good. Formative influence. That's
the program. The OC is my formative influence. And then beyond that, when I got to college, Rebecca showed me Joe Bolton. Rebecca showed me, like she gave me a copy of Rilke's Letters to a Young Poet that like totally blew up my mind. And then, yeah, as like I went through school, I was introduced to many. I got really into Emily Dickinson for a brief period
Yeah.
of time. Ever heard of her?
Famous now.
Apple
Apple
TV's
TV
is a rock and roll reimagining of what that freaky gal was like.
is totally cool. Totally. We
She's
love
on.
Dickinson.
She's lit and AF.
Absolutely. That's what poetry is.
And then beyond that, I love Eileen Miles. That was a big influence on me. I love Frank O'Hara. Oh,
Wow.
yeah, there's so many good ones.
There's so many good ones. Okay, wait, we gotta like sort of talk about because you're,
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. I mean, that's poetry.
He said, "Time, curious time, cutting me open, then healing me fine." I'm like, girl, she's so good.
Best song off Folklore, which is now my second favorite album to Evermore, because now I'm an Evermore person. I've switched.
Really? What's your favorite Evermore track?
I've jumped. Okay, it's so embarrassing that my favorite Evermore track is Evermore. That's
No.
so.
Don't get me started. It's so good.
So good.
November, up and down since June. Can I say this about Evermore?
Yes, please.
I don't like when Bon Iver comes in.
Okay, well, he's difficult for me. So I would say I don't like when he comes in on Exile because his lyrics are bad on Exile. It's like they're like kind of dumb, and he's
Well, you know that Exile is Jim Cohen's favorite track on because we drove when we were on our road trip together. I played the album like 7 times, and he was like, "Play the one with the guy. The guy's voice is so good. Play that one."
that's unexpected. That I wasn't. I would peg Jim Cohen for an invisible string type guy.
I know he was really feeling. But I lost my virginity to the second Bon Iver album, so you would think I would feel more connected. But it's two realms. I don't want him in my Taylor Swift sacred space.
Yeah, and it is a totally different vibe, and it's fun that she's sort of cosplaying with that, and she's getting to experiment because I like when she gets to put on her like Dorothea hat. I like when she gets to put on her like Gold Rush, her sort of like cool pop hat. But I do think they should all ultimately remain separate. Wow. Oh my goodness. We just got to Folklore and Evermore. But I wanted to ask, this is actually a perfect, incredible transition. I'm a music journalist, in case anybody was unclear.
On the tennis court.
Wait, okay, so you famously write music too.
I know.
Incredible songs. Do you feel that your like poetry writing is separate from your music writing, or do they sort of coalesce? Are they part of the same sort of gaping wound? Or are they different parts of this gaping wound?
I feel like poetry is more gaping wound. I feel like with songwriting, I can't start until I have like that hook or that chorus, and then the verses become more like poetry. But like I'm writing a song right now that I think I did at your show. Did I do the one about the moon?
Yes, wait, you did. It was so good. Wait, you guys.
That started with I had the idea to say, blame your problems on the moon and astrology and stuff. So once I had that phrase, then I could kind of go off, but I had to have like
a central hook. Like it wasn't just meandering. It's not just like you begin and then it goes.
Yeah. The poetry for me can just be like the songs. Like I have to like kind of think a little more like, okay, what is this about? And what am I actually trying to say instead of being like, yeah.
Well, there's more structure with songs, I would have to imagine.
Yes, exactly. But sometimes you'd be surprised with my songs. I was working on last week and I was like, and then we do like 4 more bars of the verse. And my friend I was writing with, he was like, but why, you already done like 16 bars of that? And I was like, because I just need like a little more to like get into it. And he's like, whatever you want.
You live your life. You're defying structure. We're sort of breaking down what we sort of think of as a song. We're sort of deconstructing the notion of a song.
Absolutely.
That you're writing, which is actually really cool. Wait, I actually sort of, now that we're sort of melding into, again, you're a woman of many talents, I sort of want to sort of bring it back to the Q&A because we've got some questions about, you beyond poetry in terms of your incredible stand-up, your music and whatnot. So Zadie
feels so LOL. I'm like, hey. I'm like, I literally invited you to come like praise me on Zoom for an hour. I'm like,
you know what? I said check yes. I said check yes, and
thank you.
We're having this is guess what, the highlight of my day, and I've only been up for 4 hours, so
I've done so little.
So little has been accomplished by me in this day, but I will say, before we talk about that, I want to go to Zadie McCracken's question, which I will say that is the
amazing
name.
I know. I'm like, how do I have that name towards you?
100%. Okay, so Zadie McCracken, they would like to know, how is poetry different from / similar to performing comedy? That's a hard one.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. Poetry allows me to like access more vulnerable, I can't speak, vulnerable parts of myself. And it's like a very private thing. It's very like, dare I say, nourishing, but it's like something I love it because it's something I can do without relying on anyone else. And it's like, and I can still get so much energy from it. Whereas comedy is like, it's all about the people in the room with me and the community and like connecting with people. And
About
it's,
the
you know,
chat.
it's an extrovert's paradise.
Mm.
Poetry is more for the introverted side of myself. But
Which one are you?
yeah, I mean, I'm definitely extroverted, but that's why I need other outlets. It's just nice. Poetry is nice because it's like everyone should have a thing they can do where they don't need anything or anyone to rely on. They can just like do it no matter where they are. Whereas comedy is like, as the pandemic has shown us. No, I really always, it's so funny. I really thought I was like, no matter what happens in my career, like I always will get to be on stage talking and doing this shit. And then the world was like, actually, there's a thing that can happen where if
There's a-
you breathe
there's
on someone, it ruins everyone's life. So you
a-
actually can't be in a room with anyone you know. I never thought this could even was an option. You can't be in a room with anyone you know or
anyone
don't
you know, don't know for that matter. Even the people you
know.
don't know, you can't sort of. There's a little loophole, when you eat a bat, it just sort of ruins it for everybody.
Yeah, my
That
short answer would be that I'm with for poetry, I'm pulling the energy from within, whereas from comedy, I'm kind of pulling the energy from the crowd.
Yeah. Oh my God. So that's a very poetic and artful way to say it. I think it's very artful when we talk about a critic recently said your work. I can't remember who it
Isn't
was.
that amazing?
That was
I was
sort of
obsessed.
the best quote I've ever heard.
Shockingly crude and aggressively unartful, which I think is the greatest compliment I've ever received.
That should be your Netflix. That should be
I
what
hate
should be.
art. It's like so annoying. It's like stop trying so hard.
Stop and artful. So do you find elements of that in your work? Because I mean, I think that's an iconic phrase.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like I'll be writing a poem and I'm like, that sounds too much like I'm trying to write a poem. And then I'm just like, how would I actually say that? And then I try and do that. I feel the same. It's like acting. It's like when you're making a self-tape and you're like, okay, now I'm like acting it too hard. You're just like, okay, how would I tell this to someone?
Triggered by that, but yes, that's
I know. To bring
that
it back.
is so true. That is, yeah, it's just, you can't try too hard. That is absolutely, that's real. Shockingly crude and aggressively unartful, the Katherine Cohen story.
My memoir.
kind of, I'm kind of obsessed with it. Okay, so this is sort of like a random question. Like, is poetry like having a moment? Like we've got like Amanda Gorman doing it at the Super
Right.
Bowl, which is great.
I'm like, I can't believe they didn't ask me.
I think you were there. I think you were the second person. I think they were like Amanda Gorman, and they're like, okay,
I'm the understudy.
you understand. So if anything happens to her, then Kat will go on.
You know, whenever you hear the word understudy, it's like
There's that energy. There's
like a manic chaos.
it's sort of like ready at any point to go. Yeah,
Is poetry having a moment? Yeah, I think it's cool. I think it's like actually it's funny. I have noticed a lot more people, like, even in my Instagram feed, like writing poems and posting them. And I think people are just in this very like everyone's just moody as fuck right now. And poems are famously for moody people.
they sort of that is so yeah.
But also it's like, dare I say, in this crazy attention economy, it's like you can get so much from a poem. It packs a lot of punch. That's why I like it. Books are so hard.
Books are so hard. I can't read one anymore. I tried and I just can't really do it. That is so real. Okay, wait. I'm gonna bring it back to I'm gonna bring it back to the Q&A because we've got a lot of really fantastic questions. Ooh, okay. This is some of these names, if you're not making them up, then I feel crazy. William Foxton, which is straight out of Bridgerton, wants to know, as followers of your work, as followers of your craft, how can we aspire to be feeling modern tonight?
What a beautiful question. I would suggest lighting a candle, taking a bath or a hot shower.
These sound like oldie things, so I want you to sort of get into
Well, it is, but being modern right now is all about being old because being modern, it's like this is over. This is over. This is
we
hell.
hate this, we throw it away.
Yeah. So being modern, we're gonna see the questions. Yeah, it's all about like just putting your devices away and just like breathing deep and being like, everything's fine.
Everything's fine. That does feel, I mean, poetry and candles, they do make you feel a little modern, yeah. I definitely feel that as well. Oh yeah, how did you wait? So yeah, somebody asked, I think maybe it was even Katie, were there other titles for this collection that you thought
Oh,
of, you tossed out? Were there any sort of B-sides or?
yeah, that's a good question. I think there were a few. I think like Deb sent a list of like ones that she thought might be good, and one was I wish I was smart instead of on my phone was an option. But I wanted it to feel that felt too like I'm a millennial, and that's already what people are obsessed with like saying about me. So I was like, I want more generic. And
Yeah,
then
show a different side.
what are the other ones? That's the main one that I think I was thinking of, but yeah, it just felt right. I feel like when you know, as they say.
Yeah, when you know, you know. That makes a ton. That's totally true. Okay, wait. So while we're sort of thinking about the past and thinking about you creating this anthology of poems, this book of poems, so you've recorded the audiobook. Have you recorded the audiobook yet?
Oh wait, let me see it. Let me scroll up. Yes, Deb is right. The other title we were thinking of was "If It's Embarrassing, It's Probably Good," which I think is really good. Maybe we'll use.
That's actually that is a good, that you could use
Yeah,
that for
that was
something else.
exactly it.
That is so
Yes, I've already recorded the audiobook. I did that in December,
okay.
and
How'd it go? Talk to us. What was it? What was it like? Were you in a little box? Home?
it took like 3 minutes. It was I went to the studio, COVID safe, and yeah, it was just easy breezy. Oh, the memories I have from it are one, I've been saying en bon pain wrong.
How do you say it?
It's en bon pain, right?
Albon pain. It's
I
not
think I
albon
would say
pain.
en bon pain or something.
You clearly didn't take French growing up.
And the other thing I pronounced, I didn't. And the other thing was I found the typo.
Oh,
I don't know if I'm like, did the typo make it into the real book?
make it in. Oh my God. As someone who's sort of like my whole currency is typos, I gotta know. Did it make
So it's really someone have scientists studied how like so many people can look at something and yet every book like has typos.
every single book has typos. So when people get on me about typos in my articles, I'm like,
Like
have
your
you read
brain
it?
like doesn't let you notice them.
No, because ultimately language is fake and grammar is fake. So who cares?
I know.
Let's get over caring about typos as a society. Okay. I'm gonna die on that soapbox. Right?
Absolutely.
On that hill. That's my hill to die on.
What's
Did it make it in? I gotta know.
I don't remember.
Oh,
I
that is
happened like the other night. The other night I was extremely oh Deb says it did. Okay, well I won't check then. That literally makes me Deb, it's perfect. That makes me relatable
that's
and that
honest.
makes me raw.
That's raw, that's honest, that's truthful. Typos are a part of life. Error is literally human faults, the fall of man.
Exactly.
We could go on. There are more parallels to draw here.
The other night I was like
Okay.
extremely depressed and I told my boyfriend to come over and then he walked in and I was in bed reading my own book, like sobbing into it, and he was like, "This is like so dark." He was like,
That is
"Is that you two alone?" I was just like, "Come in."
that is another level. That is another level. Wait, do you know? Okay, so your boyfriend, who we haven't named yet, his name is Brian.
I know he kind of said he was gonna come back in, but
Shout out. Has he give you any feedback? What does he think about the book? What does he think about the poems about him? Can we
I don't
delve
think
into
he's
that?
read it.
Okay.
I know he's read a lot of them because they're in the newsletter or whatever, but I don't know if he's sat down. I just gave him his copy like a few days ago, so I don't know if he sat down cover to cover. I think thankfully he's literally lets me say whatever I want, which is like the greatest gift. I could never be with someone who was sensitive about that. He's
no
totally open.
He's got to be open. That's so beautiful because he does make his way into your work. And I know we talked about this a little bit, but your work is like it's very personal, it's very real, it's very sort of like about your life. Would you ever sort of experiment? I mean, I'm basically trying to ask, like, would you write a play one day about I really think you should write a play.
I would love that. Yes, I think right now it's like all about poems, essays, songs, stand up, but I'm working on a few scripted projects that are kind of loosely in early stages. So
Hey, what can't you say?
that's not a skill that comes easily to me, but I'm trying to get better at it.
It's hard.
But I really want to be in a play if that is interesting to anyone. If
That's
anyone
right.
here like can cast me in a play, like when the pandemic ends, the first thing I want to do is like being in a play.
Up on stage, I want to like mic tape, play, corset, costumes, right cap in a play.
Oh, so nothing better than like when you have the mic tape residue on you and you're like, oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, I
Sorry,
just
I'm in a show. Sorry, I'm in a show.
on stage. So like, if you could just like give me some
I
space.
know. I'd be so chic on
Oh
broad.
my God. And can you imagine like walking out of the stage door and then you're like a
That's
regular
obviously. I
person?
was just gonna say, can you imagine the stage door?
Oh, it's all about the stage door. You just, oh my God.
It's so much.
I think, we speak into existence. I think it can really happen. When the pandemic ends in 2028, we'll be back.
Definitely when the oat milk hits.
Oh, and that oat milk hits, baby. Oh, business. Okay, wait. Okay, so I have to say, and before sort of like your brand of poetry and whatnot, like I was always like, I'm not a poetry person. I'm a play person. Like I don't get poetry. Like I sort of like was that person. Do you have anything to say to people who like don't get poetry or like can't get into it? Like, do you have like a way in for them? Do you like have any advice or?
Well, I think reading my book would be an amazing start. It's there's nothing that's hard to understand. They might not like it, but I think they'll at least understand it.
It's absolutely clear. Okay, that's it. Yeah, there's nothing that's hard to understand.
So it's something that can be understood, whether or not you're connecting with it. Go ahead.
And that's another.
Try my book.
That's a whole separate question. Wait, okay, we've gotten like a bunch of questions from our dear, dear friend Julie Leary, and I feel bad because I.
Oh my God, Julie!
So we gotta say, first off, hi.
Let's get that girl in the mix.
Let's get that girl in the mix. Let's answer some.
Oh, I see her question. Okay, I should do like a speed round because I feel like we're almost done. And
we got like 10, 15 minutes up, so we can even like run through all. Actually, Julie's first question was for me. At Chris, what was your first impression of Katherine Cohen in college? I did think she was that bitch. I did notice that she straightened her hair every day. I did, which I will never forget. And we met actually coming back from a callback for a theater troupe.
Yes.
We both booked naturally, and she was like, I heard about you. And I was like, I've heard about you. And then the rest was history. So I was intimidated, scared, but titillated mostly. So that's my earliest memory of Katherine. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Cece, can you go back and tell your 10-year-old self that you currently make your living talking about sex on big stages? What would your inner child, what would your 10-year-old self say?
Definitely shocked. I used to think that my body was so gross looking that I would only let one person see it naked, and that would be my husband, and I would have already tricked him into loving me before he got to see it. So definitely it's a stretch to say that I expected that to be the case. But to make millions and billions of dollars doing that on stage.
Billions of dollars after taxes, we have to say, after taxes, billions of dollars for doing that. And I think there's some people want to know, because this has been sort of like a roundabout journey in terms of like you are an actress, you're a voiceover actress, you're a comedian.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, who we can't forget, Ole Ole. How did you sort of get started in the comedy world and the stand-up world? How did that begin for you? Asked specifically Dariush Mirbaha, which I did say terribly, and I apologize.
Hello. I loved acting, and I always thought I was doing the funny parts. And there aren't a lot of, when I moved to New York and I wanted to be an actress, there's like literally a part for like half a woman in every play. There's like no parts. So I was like, this isn't gonna work. And I started taking improv classes through like a theater festival, and I was like, oh, I'm really good at this. And then I kept taking classes, and then back in the day, I started smoking a cigarette. Back in the day, when you started taking improv, you started doing everything, baby. You did stand up, you did sketch, you did it all. So I started doing it all, and then this is how it all clicked. But ultimately, it all comes down to the power to create my own work without waiting for someone to cast me in something.
Yeah, because
you can't wait forever.
You can't wait forever, and you simply can't wait forever. You got to make your own work. You got to do your own thing, which you've famously done. Okay, wait. Speaking of doing your own thing, like not to be like this year and everything is like so terrible, but everything is so terrible. Where are you currently like finding inspiration to sort of do anything, but specifically for like writing and poetry? Like, do you like where in your life do you find it?
Yeah, I think the only thing I've been feeling inspired to write is the poetry. Like I haven't been feeling very funny or creative otherwise. But also I feel like doing my little weekly newsletter, have my little sexy little email, just having something that I have to do every week has been like a good
discipline.
Something to do.
How did you learn?
I famously always do like every time I say it's gonna be on Monday, it's on Tuesday. Every time I say it's on Tuesday, it's on Wednesday. Like I'm not disciplined, but I'm trying my best. I should do it tomorrow, but I feel like tomorrow I'll just be like,
well, you did this today.
Yeah, like post about the book or whatever.
This is like
but yeah, oh my God, Julie wrote so many good questions.
I know, she really threw in a bunch of fantastic questions. And wait, and you can answer one of those, but also, so like, okay, you famously host this, like the most fun show in the world at Clip Coming, Cabaret. and which like obviously for reasons beyond our control, cabaret, re-pandemic, isn't happening. Where have you channeled your energy like that used to go into like performing live, like at Joe's Pub, at Club Cumming? Where is that energy going?
The vigor with which I eat that I order on Seamless it's actually it's amazing. I like the eating has been out of control. I feel like that's where I turn to. I'm like, what? I'm like, I get an Italian sub. I'm like, let's absolutely destroy this sub. That's kind of where my energy's going.
Let's also talk about your cooking, because you
I
introduced
love to cook.
a new concept to me, an Oreo cookie cake.
That was a very like BuzzFeed recipe because my boyfriend likes Oreos, but it's very like I'm obsessed with. It's so embarrassing, but I'm obsessed with the Tasty app. It's like BuzzFeed Tasty. It's like those time lapse videos of like making a mini lasagna taco, and it's like boop 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 boop, but like some of them look really good. So that's right. Yeah.
It was absolutely delicious. I just couldn't even like it. Like the concept, it was so rich.
It was wild, and it was we just threw it out like yesterday because it's like it takes a long time to kind of you have to like chisel it out.
Dig in there. Absolutely. Okay, so food culture has become a big part of culture for you. It's become a big thing. And wait, and the podcast is back. Are you so excited?
Yeah, I'm so happy. Yes, everyone like and subscribe, rate, review. I'm so psyched. And that's been really fun. And Carly Jean Andrews, who's so talented, did our art. She's amazing. I also have to shout out Perry De La Vega, who did the cover art for my book. It's the most gorgeous thing ever.
Oh yeah, let's get it.
He just like came up with this. He came up with the blue. He's a genius. So I just want to say,
absolutely gorgeous. Okay, we love.
Oh my god, I love the Tasty video.
Well, okay, the Tasty. We love that people love the Tasty. Okay, wait, and then so some fun ones like we're an anonymous attendee, also incredible name. Where do you shop?
It's not very glamorous. This is from H&M, and my
pants. I've heard of it.
A friend gave me these pants, and then this is from Amazon. It's not. I don't like revealing my secrets. It's not cool. But I feel like whenever I'd go into a shop and find a headband like this, it was like $1 million.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like $1 million.
I like shopping vintage. Obviously, is the dream. And then I'm like always in my old life, I've just bought a bunch of shit at ASOS.
ASOS. Okay. This is actually a personal question for me. What is Depop? People are talking about Depop. I don't know.
I'm going to say that I don't know, but I think it's about reselling your clothes and then buying people's, gently used clothes.
If anyone can sort of clarify exactly what Depop is, for me, that would be
amazing. Sound off in the comments. Definitely read Depop.
Sound off. I'm seeing it on Dumois. I'm seeing it all over the internet, and I don't. Okay, teenage girls buy and sell. Okay, Zoomer. Okay.
Teenage girls buy and sell. Okay, I'm basically teenage.
Okay, we're teenagers.
Zoomers.
Gen Z. How do you feel about Gen Z? Scary?
I love them, but should I do Depop?
Yeah, is it?
I love Gen Z. I want them to be my friend.
Oh, me too. But they scare me a little bit. TikTok scares me a little bit. Famously, I'm not well versed in it. But Gen Z.
Oh my god, this is funny. Brandy Melville is so scary to me.
Okay, that's okay. So
Lauren's video does the best with her Brandy Melville content. It's one size fits all. It's absolutely insane.
That's a lie, and that's like okay. So you feel the same way towards Brandy Melville that I feel towards TikTok, and that's sort of important to sort of clarify. Okay. Well, we're also clarifying, also sort of like dreaming, thinking beyond our tiny little apartments and our tiny little lives right now. If you could write anywhere, what's like your dream writing location? Where would you go? Where would you go?
My favorite is just being like upstate with like bare trees in the winter. Like honestly, like right now, just like going upstate would be heaven. If I had a house or a car, it'd be amazing.
Any way to get there.
I don't like the summer. I don't like the spring. I like the fall. I like the winter. I don't like the West Coast. I like the East Coast.
Okay,
that's what I have to say about that.
These are very clear. We like the fall, we like the winter. We don't like.
I think Julie asked, but I listened, and I'm very vocal about this. I listened to Lo-Fi Hip Hop channel on YouTube. It's amazing instrumental music.
Okay.
And then I just write wherever I am when I have to do some things. I'm not very proactive.
And that gets you in the mood, that gets you sort of in the zone, that gets you sort of like.
Oh my God. Chloe, my dream is to come hang with you in Hudson. That's what I dream. We'll take this offline. I'll text you.
But yeah, re-lo-fi, it gets you sort of focused. It gets you like.
Yeah, I can't listen to words because I'm like so creative that I'll be inspired by the words. So I have to just use that.
So much of a genius that your mind just goes boop 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 it. It just sort of like takes it and runs with it. That's totally real. That makes so much sense. Wait. This is so fun. And we have like a couple minutes left. So if you have any like last sort of like dying, burning questions for
I want to
Katherine?
say this has been so much more fun than I thought, and I'm so like honored that you guys logged on. And it's like been so fun with everyone in the comments. I was so, it's always depressing when you wish you were with a bunch of people, but this felt so fun. So I'm so grateful for y'all. And thank you, Chris, for moderating, because you've seen my work from the very beginning. So I feel very known by you, and I appreciate your support.
I've loved it since day one. And yet it also only gets better and better, which is the best thing in the world.
And I think we're going to have some signed copies at Powerhouse if you want that. And I think also, I have a few more book events. We're doing an Instagram live salon tomorrow, where I'm probably gonna like do a few songs, and we have some guests to chat and do some stuff. And then big event Friday with Jordan Firstman,
huge,
a friend of this event, and then a few other things. So yeah, I posted it on Insta, etc. And I love y'all.
You gotta tune in. Wait, okay. So last question, just because you gotta end with a bang. We gotta end with just like the career hits, the greats. Okay. Do you have a favorite career moment apart from your gorgeous book, of course?
Yes,
a favorite moment.
When I won the award at the Edinburgh Fringe, was the best moment of my life.
Today, which if you were in your apartment, you could show us because you have it.
Yeah, it's in my apartment. But I saw people messaging, and literally, I'm dying to come back to the UK the second this all ends. So stay tuned for my rescheduled dates, which were supposed to be, last
March, and and we're sort of in last March right now. Oh my God!
There's nothing I love more than doing the show in London. It's so fun.
Oh, it's the best place in the world. Oh my God. Okay, and one last thing. We gotta. Somebody asked to, can you sing us a little song goodbye? Can you sing us a little boop? little boop, boop, boop.
Oh, people are being so nice. Okay, cute. You want a little song goodbye? Okay.
A little song,
Thank you for being on Zoom with me. I want to thank you, honestly. Give it up for Chris. He is the shit. Thank you for being on Zoom with me. Thank you for enough. I say that a lot. It's a really fun word to say. Thank you for this top. It's from H&M. H&M. Thank you for being on Zoom today.
That was really, I mean, you can't.
Look, I think it's chorus nice. Thank you for being, it's almost like a tagline song, like, thank you for being on Zoom today. Thank you for being on Zoom. Thank you for being.
It really actually fell into that sort of pocket of the boom. It really did. And, we love it.
And I was also playing drums that were like really all over. A drum set that's kind of floating, like, thank you for being on Zoom today. Thank you for being on Zoom today.
It was like sort of
there we go.
There we go. We sort of had that. Those overtones were sort of definitely present. But yeah, wait. Thank you, Kat, for writing this gorgeous, incredible book that you really actually have to order right now. I cannot tell you enough. It's so amazing. Thank you, Powerhouse Arena.
Thank you, Powerhouse Arena. Thank you, other Chris.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. I love y'all.
I hope you had fun. This was amazing. Until next time.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Katherine. Everybody buy the book if you haven't yet, and this will be on YouTube if you missed any of it.
Will it? Will it now, Chris? For Powerhouse?
If that's okay with you.
I'm like, talk to my team. No, it's great.
Please put me on YouTube. I want to make $1 million. Put me on YouTube.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Okay, amazing.
Right. Thank you.
Bye.
Miss you. Bye.
Bye.